You feel it, even if you refuse to admit it. A quiet unrest that no one else sees, a faint noise that slices through your certainties when everything goes still. You pretend not to hear it. You run to your commitments, your conversations, your glowing screens. But the calling is there. Something in you knows that the life you have built is not truly life. You want answers, but you want answers that do not shake your ground. You want change, but you want change that does not demand you give up what you have hoarded, your reputation, your relationships, your convenient truths. But to awaken is not to decorate the prison. It is to watch it collapse. It is not to become someone new. It is to die to everything you thought you were. This calling does not shout. It waits, patient and merciless. It waits for that crack in your busy mind, a sleepless night, a sudden loss, a question that slips in when your guard is down. And when it enters, it does not negotiate. It does not flatter you. It strips you bare, piece by piece, until you stand with nothing left to defend. Most run from this calling their entire lives, terrified of the cost. But what they never realize is that the cost of not answering is far greater. An entire life spent half awake, half alive, numbed by distractions, dead before the body stops breathing. This is the silent calling, a whisper that invites you to die, not your body, but your borrowed identities, to let go of the masks, the lies, the borrowed beliefs. If you dare to listen, the path begins here, not in comfort, not in certainty, but in this terrifying freedom that asks for everything and leaves you with nothing but what is real.
You believe you are someone, a name, a story, a collection of memories stitched together by time and repetition. This someone has a history, a reputation, a face that the world recognizes. You defend this someone as if your life depends on it. But look closely. Does it? This you is fragile. It needs constant praise, constant success, constant attention, or it begins to crack. You spend your days patching it up, new goals, new labels, new distractions to hold the mask in place. You fear losing this identity more than anything else. You cling to roles: parent, lover, employee, citizen, believer. Each role gives you a shape, a boundary. It tells you where you end and the world begins. But freedom knows no such boundaries. To awaken is to watch these identities die. Not once, but again and again. With every death, something false dissolves, and you remain untouched by the loss. The mind screams, "Who will I be without my story?" But ask yourself, who are you with it? Are you alive or just performing a script written by parents, teachers, lovers, society? When you see the lie, the fear comes. The fear of being nothing. No name to cling to, no image to polish, no story to hide behind. But in this nothingness is the first taste of truth. Only the false dies. The real cannot die, because it was never born. It is not bound to your name, your past, your face. It is untouched by praise or blame. When you see this, a strange freedom begins to burn inside you, a freedom so vast that no identity can contain it. So, let the old identities crumble. Mourn them if you must, but do not rebuild their graves into temples. Stand in the ashes and see what remains when there is no one left to pretend.
When you strip away all your roles, your beliefs, your ambitions, What remains? Nothing. And that nothing terrifies you more than any nightmare your mind could invent. Your entire life is a rebellion against emptiness. You fill your days with noise, your heart with longing, your mind with endless chatter, anything to avoid the raw silence that waits when the pretending stops. Look at how you run. You decorate your emptiness with relationships, with possessions, with titles and accomplishments. You feed it with distractions and entertainment. You pray to your gods to protect you from facing it. But what if this emptiness is not your enemy? What if it is the only door to real freedom? The mind says, emptiness means I am nothing. I must fill it. I must fix it. But the truth is, emptiness means you are free from what you are not. Emptiness is the space where the false cannot stand. Fear comes because the ego cannot live in emptiness. It suffocates when there is nothing left to cling to. And yet, in that suffocation, something real breathes for the first time. So do not run from emptiness. Stand inside it. Do not decorate it. Enter it naked. Let the mind panic. Let the heart tremble. Watch what happens when you refuse to escape. You will see the emptiness is not a void. It is vast, alive, radiant with presence. It is not the absence of something. It is the presence of what cannot be named. This is why awakening is death. Not the death of the body, but the death of everything that resists this boundless silence. Emptiness is not your punishment. It is your homecoming. It is not your loss. It is the end of pretending you ever needed anything else.
You have spent your life fighting to be someone, to get somewhere, to hold your world together with trembling hands. Even your so-called spirituality is a fight to fix the mind, to control desire, to conquer fear. But awakening does not come through conquering. It comes through surrender. This word frightens you, surrender. To the mind, surrender means defeat. It means losing the fight. It means giving up the illusion of control you have clung to so desperately. But listen carefully. What if the fight is the very thing that keeps you asleep? What if all your effort is just noise covering a silence that is already free? To surrender is not to become passive. It is not resignation. It is to let the false burn, willingly, consciously, completely. Surrender is the fire that consumes the one who resists. You do not choose the fire chooses you. It appears when you stop bargaining with truth. It grows when you no longer defend the parts of you that must die. This fire will touch everything you hold dear, your ideas of love, of success, of morality, of self. Nothing is safe. It is not a gentle warmth, it is a raging blaze that leaves you naked in its light. And yet, in that burning, you taste something you never knew existed. Peace without conditions, love without dependency, clarity without thought. When the fight ends, the real begins. Surrender is not for the faint-hearted. It is for those tired enough of their own lies to watch them burn. It is for those courageous enough to stand in the flames and say, "Take it all, everything that is not real." Only what cannot burn will remain, and that is all you ever needed. You have spent your life fighting. Fighting to be someone, to get somewhere, to hold your world together with trembling hands. Even your so-called spirituality is a fight to fix the mind, to control desire, to conquer fear. But awakening does not come through conquering. It comes through surrender. This word frightens you, surrender. To the mind, surrender means defeat. It means losing the fight. It means giving up the illusion of control you have clung to so desperately. But listen carefully. What if the fight is the very thing that keeps you asleep? What if all your effort is just noise covering a silence that is already free? To surrender is not to become passive. It is not resignation. It is to let the false burn, willingly, consciously, completely. Surrender is the fire that consumes the one who resists. You do not choose the fire chooses you. It appears when you stop bargaining with truth. It grows when you no longer defend the parts of you that must die. This fire will touch everything you hold dear, your ideas of love, of success, of morality, of self. Nothing is safe. It is not a gentle warmth, it is a raging blaze that leaves you naked in its light. And yet, in that burning, you taste something you never knew existed. Peace without conditions, love without dependency, clarity without thought. When the fight ends, the real begins. Surrender is not for the faint-hearted. It is for those tired enough of their own lies to watch them burn. It is for those courageous enough to stand in the flames and say, "Take it all, everything that is not real." Only what cannot burn will remain, and that is all you ever needed.
Your mind survives on tomorrow. Tomorrow is its last refuge, the promise that what is unbearable today will somehow be redeemed, completed, perfected later. You say, "I will change tomorrow. I will wake up tomorrow. I will face myself tomorrow." But tomorrow is just a grave for today's truth. The promise of tomorrow keeps you chained to today's lie. You endure what should be left behind. You tolerate what should be burned, all because tomorrow will fix it. So you hope. But tomorrow never comes. Have you noticed? It is always just out of reach, dangling in front of your tired eyes. The moment it arrives, it becomes today, and you invent another tomorrow to hide behind. To awaken is to kill tomorrow. Not the calendar day, but the false hope it carries. The awakening man knows he has nothing but now, raw, uncompromising, alive. When tomorrow dies, urgency is born. Suddenly you see that you have no time to waste pleasing others, defending illusions, polishing masks. When tomorrow dies, courage is born. The courage to stand alone, to break away, to burn the bridge that leads back to sleep. The mind trembles at this. Without tomorrow, who are you? Without tomorrow, where is the comfort of postponement? Without tomorrow, what excuse remains to keep pretending? Freedom does not live in tomorrow. Truth does not wait for your perfect conditions. Awakening is not an event waiting on your calendar. It is a fire waiting now, this instant in your chest. So look carefully. If you are not willing to die to tomorrow, you will keep surviving today, but you will never live. When tomorrow dies, you are finally alive.
You have been trained to worship comfort, a soft bed for the body, soothing words for the mind, pleasant lies for the heart. The world tells you comfort is success. Your family tells you comfort is safety. Religion promises ultimate comfort in some distant heaven. But look honestly. What has comfort ever given you but numbness? You wrap yourself in it like a blanket, but it suffocates the very fire that could set you free. Comfort is betrayal disguised as kindness. It says, rest here, do not question, do not disturb the dream. And so generations sleepwalk, full bellies, empty souls. You pray for a comfortable awakening, a gentle shift, a painless flowering of truth. But truth is not interested in your comfort. Truth is a storm, a blade, a fire. It does not ask your permission to destroy what you cling to. Awakening is not comfortable. It is a tearing open. It strips away your cushions, your excuses, your consolations. It drags you naked into places you have avoided your whole life. It shows you the face you have hidden behind masks of politeness and false goodness. People say they want truth, but complain when it hurts. They want liberation, but run when the ground trembles. They seek a teacher, but resist the knife he holds to their illusions. Comfort will betray you. One day, you will see how it kept you small, obedient, asleep. One day, you will see how it bribed you to postpone your own freedom. Better to be broken by truth than cradled by lies. Better the pain of seeing than the comfort of blindness. If you want comfort, stay asleep. If you want freedom, let the betrayal happen and bless it.
Your mind is a prison built from the bricks of beliefs, ideas, doctrines, convictions you have gathered over time. These beliefs give you a sense of security, identity, and meaning. But they are also your chains. You cling to beliefs because they promise certainty in an uncertain world. You wear them like armor, defending against doubt, fear, and the chaos of existence. But the cage they create traps you inside a limited reality, a reality that is not yours, but borrowed. Beliefs are comfortable lies dressed in truth's clothing. They separate you from direct experience, from raw reality, from the present moment. You argue fiercely for your beliefs, but beneath the arguments lies a fear, the fear of freedom without a safety net. True awakening means watching your beliefs die, one by one, like old friends leaving you to face the unknown alone. It is painful and lonely. The mind screams for a new belief to hold on to, but the awakened one knows the emptiness beyond beliefs is vast and free. Let your beliefs go, not because they are wrong, but because your freedom is beyond right and wrong. Let the cage fall apart and step into the open sky of unknowing. This is the path of true freedom, not to find new beliefs, but to find the space where no belief can bind you.
Truth does not come with crowds or applause. It often walks a solitary path, one where friends fade, beliefs shatter, and familiar comforts vanish. When you embrace truth, you step out of the herd and into a silence that can feel cold and isolating. People around you may not understand your clarity. They may mock, avoid, or fear the change they see in you. This loneliness is not a punishment. It is the cost of freedom. To be free is to stand alone, untethered from the safety of conformity and the need for approval. Many choose the comfort of belonging over the pain of truth.
They hide their awakening beneath social masks and whispered lies, afraid to face the solitude that truth demands. But in this loneliness lies a profound power, the power to listen to yourself without distraction, to see without distortion, to be without compromise. When the noise of the world fades and the soul stands naked, the true self can finally be heard. This loneliness is a doorway, not a prison. Step through it bravely, and you will find a vastness inside that no crowd can touch.
For most of your life, you have fought against reality, against your circumstances, your feelings, your fears. You have pushed away what you didn't want, clung tightly to what you did. Resistance is exhausting. It drains your energy and keeps you locked in a battle that can never be won. It is the mind's way of saying, I am not okay with this, when life simply is. Awakening begins when resistance ends, when you stop fighting the flow of existence and begin to accept, not passively, but fully, what is. This acceptance is not surrender to defeat. It is the wisdom to see things clearly without distortion. It is the courage to face life without filters or fantasies. When resistance dies, a strange peace arises, one that is unshakable and free from conditions. You realize that what you fought against was never the problem. It was your refusal to see it as it is. Resistance is the prison of the mind. Acceptance is the key to freedom. Are you ready to stop resisting and start living?
Words are the mind's tools, useful, necessary, but limited. They try to capture the infinite, but always fall short. The deepest truths cannot be spoken or explained. They must be experienced. They dwell in the silence beyond words, where the mind stops and the heart listens. In the process of awakening, you learn to sit in this silence, to let go of explanations, justifications, and stories. You learn to be with what is, without needing to name it or control it. This silence can feel empty, vast, and even terrifying. But it is also the womb of creation, the space where true freedom is born. When you embrace the silence beyond words, you transcend the ego's need for identity and narrative. You become the witness to all that arises, untouched and serene. The journey of awakening is not about accumulating knowledge, but about descending into this profound silence. Are you willing to step into the unknown, beyond words?
Freedom is not what you think it is. It is not the absence of constraints, the fulfillment of desires, or the achievement of goals. True freedom is unseen. It is the freedom from the need to be free. It is the release from all attachments, all identities, all stories. You chase freedom outside, in places, people, and possessions, but it slips further away the more you grasp. The real freedom lives inside, silent, vast, and untouched by the fluctuations of life. This freedom is hidden behind the death of the self you thought you were. It appears only when all that is false has fallen away. It cannot be earned, it cannot be bought, it cannot be taught. It is your original nature waiting patiently beneath the dust of illusion. When you see this, the chains dissolve effortlessly. You do not fight for freedom. You realize you were never imprisoned. This unseen freedom is the end of all struggle. It is the home where the restless find peace. Are you ready to stop searching and simply be free?
Every journey to awakening leads to a breaking point, a moment when the weight of illusions becomes unbearable and the old self shatters beyond repair. You may resist, deny, or bargain, but eventually something breaks. A relationship, a belief,
a comfort, or even your own sense of identity. This breaking is not a failure. It is the necessary collapse before the birth of something new. At the breaking point, fear, grief, and despair rise like a storm. You may feel lost, broken, and utterly alone. But this is the crucible of transformation. If you endure the breaking without running, without numbing, you discover a deep well of strength inside you, one not born from the ego, but from the silent core of your being. The breaking point is both the end and the beginning, the death of what was and the gateway to what is. Will you allow yourself to break so you may truly awaken?